Hello and welcome back to OMSI 2. I'm Joe and I'm super excited to be able to bring you a new video of, what's it called? Gainsborough Phase 2. You knew what it was called, why you been daft? Gainsborough Phase 2. Now this is a fantastic map by Mr. Moose. I say it's fantastic. I've not actually tried it yet. This is the first time I'm looking at it. I saw that a couple of people, I didn't even know it had been uploaded. It was uploaded on like Tuesday or something. I'm like, why did I not know about this? But now I know about this, and so we're doing a video. We're going to be using the standard Transbus Trident. This bus doesn't get a lot of love from me, which it perhaps should. You know, it's getting on a little bit, but there's certainly nothing wrong with it. Certainly nothing wrong with it. Let's have a nose before we set off. Bloody hell, is that my change I'm working with? Have we got any... we've got 2s, 1s, 50s, 20s, 10s and 5s. We've not got a lot of change, it's to be up the duck paying a lot of notes, isn't it? We're going to be doing the Route 100, which has been extended. It runs from Gainsborough to Saxelby. It's roughly 14 miles long, and it will take roughly half an hour. So let's have a nosy. Where do we go from? The Route 100 goes from stand B. So what we'll do is we'll be a little bit naughty, and we'll just reverse. I'm sure we can do this. I mean, we're in the bus station, aren't we? That's clipping a curb, but never mind. Right, there we go. And we'll go straight round. Get some interior lights on. Yeah, there we go. Get a bit of that. What do you think to that, then? That is truly horrendous parking. It's a Gainsborough bus station stand B. What do we actually need on the front? Saxelby, yeah. We've got Saxelby on the front, 100 to Saxelby. So why are the people not coming? Why are you not... Oh, there we go, you are. Right, okie dokie. You want a 0 fare? Fair dues. I'm sure we all want a 0 fare, love. And you want a 0 fare. How come we're all asking for 0 fares? I don't think you can get on a bus and just ask for a 0 fare. Maybe it's some sort of council subsidised thing. Can you imagine just getting on, oh yeah, I'll just have one of them free tickets, love. Yeah, no, I know I should really get an adult single. I mean, that old woman, fair dues, but that other lass, she was not an OAP. Oh, yeah, just give us one of them 0 fares. I know it should be £2.20, but nah, you're alright, love. They do that on the train when you go down asking for tickets. Sometimes they'll just go, oh, I'm only going to next stop. You're alright, mate, you don't need to sell me a ticket. It's like, it's not bloody optional. I'm not offering, no, you're alright, don't worry about it. It's like, you gonna pay? That's how it works, love. Right, so off we go. Now, from what I've been reading in the documentation, we're not to go too fast. Because it's timed so that it's fairly realistic. There we go. Yeah, it's timed so that it's realistic, and if you go too fast, you'll end up running early. So we'll just take it nice and steady. No need to rush, is there? I'm getting some excellent force feedback. I don't know why today, but in this Trident, the steering wheel is shaking all over the place on these bumps. That's what we like. I mean, to be honest with you, I think we go left at the end if memory serves me right. Yeah, to be honest with you, I quite like a route where... Oh no, we go right. Oh, fair dues. I do like a route where you don't have to rush and you can just take your time like you would on a bus normally. Just chill out. Nice, steady journey. It would be nice if we got a couple of bits, you know, where we can absolutely thrash the living daylights out of it, but I'm not thinking that that's what we're going to get on this route. I think it's just a nice, steady route through rural Lincolnshire. I mean, it must be rural because they don't get a service on Sundays at all. Oh, are you paying? Oh, wow, fair dues. You want 20p back from my lack of change? Yeah, they don't even get a Sunday service or a late evening service. I think after like 7 PM, there's just no buses. So if you want to play this map, you need to make sure that you're playing it on a Monday to Saturday during the day, or you'll be disappointed. There'll be no buses. You'll be like, what on earth's going on here? Bloody Lincolnshire Road car. As soon as Stagecoach come and take over, the better, in my opinion. What's this coming the other way? Another Trident. Hello! It's Portland Terrace. Oh wait, what lane do we go in? I'm going to plump for the right-hand lane. We'll go round here. Ah, there we go, straight on at the roundabout. Would have been nice if there was a directional arrow just before the roundabout so we knew what lane to get in. You know, I think that would be quite nice. If we could look into that, that'd be sensational. I don't actually know, was the Route 100 available in Phase 1? I never really drove Phase 1 that much, to be honest with you, because the main routes that it focused on were the two circular routes, the 1 and the 2, which have now been renumbered in this to the 101 and the 102. So if you do see those arrows, you'll probably have seen them already. You've been like, ooh, what's that route? They have just been renumbered. But yeah, they're two circular routes in Gainsborough Phase 1, and those of you that know me will know I'm not really that struck on circular routes. It's not really my thing. Nope. I much prefer a good point-to-point route. So I've never really given Gainsborough much love, to be honest with you, but if this is a good point-to-point, then perhaps we'll be visiting this again. Oh heck, low bridge. Bloody hell. Well, there's no oncoming vehicles, and I think we'll manage to fit under there. God, this is supposedly the 100 that interconnect. Nope, are you not getting on? Fair dues, love. Bloody hell, we're a minute late now. I thought he said take your time. That's what he says in the documentation. Oh yeah, just take your time. You run early otherwise. Not likely. Not likely in this Trident. Washington Street. All passengers are getting thrown all over the place, and you know, back there on these bumps. Now I can see a T-junction and no directional arrow, which... oh, hang on, no, we just follow it round to the right, that's fine. Just do a bit of that. We'd have failed Green Road there at first, wouldn't we? Accelerating while we're going round a corner. Bloody hell. We're back on the main road now after fannying round in a residential area. This is the bit where we'll have to get our foot down because, you know, make up a bit of time. It says don't go more than 30 miles an hour, but we haven't got much choice, love. Get his foot down here. I don't really recognise it. I mean, I think, did we used to go left out of the bus station, where I said, oh yeah, I think we go left here. Because all of this, I'm pretty sure all of this is new. Could be wrong. Again, happy to be proved wrong if I am. Again, I'm not particularly familiar with the map. But, yeah, just all of this is new from what I believe. And of course, I'll put a link in the description to this map. You know, I always put a link so that you know where to go and find it. Link in the description, make sure you go check it out. It's free on Fellows Film, and of course you do need the Trident, but again, that's free on Fellows Film, so there's really no excuse. There's no payware requirements for this at all. So make sure you go check it out. It is a pretty decent map, to be honest with you. I've just realised I've not got my graphics settings on as high as I possibly could. That was due to the fact I turned them down for another map, and I've forgotten to turn them back up again. So we will do another run at some stage on Gainsborough, possibly in the Enviro 200, because that's another bus that you can use on this route. So we may do another run and we'll turn the graphics settings back up and just see the difference between the two. But I mean, frame rates are absolutely fine. He said on the in the documentation, that's 40 down here, bloody hell. Better get our foot down. He did say in the documentation that it is, you know, meant to be a light map. So, you know, take from that what you want. It's meant to be a light map. Great. I mean, we've not had any problems with frame rates so far, certainly not. What's happening there? Is that a bus stop? Yep, somebody getting off. Oh, hang on. No, don't want to indicate just yet. I think we're turning left at that junction. Cheerio, love. Thank you. See you later. So if this is the 100, the interconnect, we could do with some sort of nice branding, couldn't we? A really nice logo, not logo, route branding for this route. For Lincolnshire Road car. Yep, someone else getting off. Bloody hell, we'll have no passengers at this rate. Oh, that looks like somebody getting on though, doesn't it? That's good. We'll wait for him. I know we're late, but we'll wait. Come on, love. Quick's the word, chat. Oh, are you not even getting on? You're literally not even getting on. For goodness sake. Back round an housing estate, that's fine. I'm sure the 100 goes to Lincoln, didn't they say? And Lincoln's straight on. Using some of those nice purple trees as well that you've seen in the seen before in the Yorkshire Counties map. I don't know if they're not meant to be cherry blossoms. I feel there should be a lighter pink or a white if they're a cherry blossom. We've got a nice cherry blossom in our garden. It's sadly losing its pink now. Bit gutted about that. It's just going green. You know, like trees tend to do in summer. It's green. Anybody at this bus stop? Oh yes, there's a woman. Is she actually... No, she's not going for the bus. Carry on. Oh, bit of national speed limit. Bloody hell. Well, we'll put our foot down a little bit because we don't want to annoy the guy behind us too much. But at the same time, we don't want to run too early, do we? Oh, what's this? That was a short-lived bit of national speed limit. Is it Snaith Park? Knaith Park. Nath. I imagine that's probably, you know, like knife. It's probably a silent K, isn't it? Yeah, Nath Park. Now that could go one of two ways, couldn't it? You know, that could be a really posh area, Nath Park. You know, like Knightsbridge, you know, in London. Or it could be a bloody rough area, couldn't it? Oh, bloody hell, you don't want to go up Nath Park late on the night, love. Guy, get bricked. You know, so it's one of them areas you just really can't tell from the name, can you? It's very nice and rural, isn't it? I'm a lover of this. Nice bit of farmland. Bloody hell. That's a pothole and a half, isn't it? Let's take our time. Take our time, nice and steady. No need to rush, is there? I mean, that van driver behind us will be sat there going, bloody bus, get out of the way, get a move on. I wonder if Saxelby is, I mean, I know that Saxelby is a town. I wonder if it's like a town on this, whether it's a village. I don't actually know if this is, I mean, there is kind of a thing saying that he's done the town on making it better for OMSI rather than completely realistic. So I don't know if this is like a semi-fictional thing. I'm gonna guess that it's, you know, it's fairly true to life, but again, I have very little knowledge of this area whatsoever. Lincolnshire, I once went to Lincoln and it was the most boring 8 hours of my life, and then I left. It was a Lincolnshire bus rally, from what I remember. Yeah, it was a Lincolnshire. It was a Lincoln bus rally, and I mean, I'm 24 now, so you know, there was a lot of buses there that were just too old for me. And you know, bus preservation is a weird one, isn't it? Because I own a Volvo B10 BLE right now, and I've had a bit of hassle from people. Not like malicious hassle, but when you go to, I mean, we went to the Kirby Stephen running day in Kirby Stephen, and we were told we couldn't run it. They're like, no, you can't run this bus. It's too new. It's too modern. I'm like, but it's an S-Reg. It's 20 years old. You know, it's 22 years old now. And no, you can't run this bus. It's too modern. But you know, Olympians apparently were the newest things that could run or something like that. But I'm like, but you know, I don't think you realise that people of my generation, this is what they remember in service, you know, and so, but anyway, we ran anyway, because we were like, well, bollocks to you, love, we paid the road tax, so it's a public road, you can't stop us from running. And we were the only bus, we were the first bus at Kirby Stephen ever to run in service that was a low floor, which I thought was quite an achievement, given we're told to bugger off, essentially. But also, we left full and standing. We were the only bus of the day that, from what we could see from being around, that left full and standing, and the majority of people on it were younger people, because they're like, oh, fantastic, finally something that we remember. And and that was very much what it was like for me in Lincoln when I went there. There was just nothing that I'm interested in, really. So it was quite a boring experience. There was some Delana-born Geminis, or some new Geminis, because Delana-born always have new buses, don't they? But other than that, no. Lincolnshire, for me, is not a particularly fascinating place. But maybe that's just a bad experience. Maybe it's actually lovely, and I should give it another try. I know that when the B10 BLE is back on the road, we will take it to Lincoln. I feel the place needs livening up a bit with a bit of Volvo power. You know, shove those Leyland PD2s and all that. Show 'em who's boss. Nope. Bloody hell. Ah, brake. Nearly. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, I do kind of get where they're coming from with the whole preservation thing. I mean, one of my friends has bought a Volvo B7 RLE Right Eclipse Urban, and I was looking at it like, bloody hell, I remember when that was new, and now it's in preservation, and that makes me feel quite old. You know, I know I'm not really old in the grand scheme of things. You know, I'm still classed as a youth. But yeah, so I imagine that a lot of people will have looked at my bus and been like, well, you know, it's practically new. Well, yeah, but preservation does move on. And if preservation events like this are going to continue and attract a new crowd, you need more modern vehicles, because that's what people remember. And so yeah, the B10 BLE is currently off-road, it's having some work done. I actually went and helped fit a new exhaust to it. I mean, I paid for the new exhaust. Bloody hell, did I know that I'd paid for that new exhaust. But, hold on, we'll just do one thing at once here. There we go, 120. Yeah, I was well and truly aware that I'd paid for that new flaming exhaust, but yeah, I went and helped fit it, so fingers crossed now. It just needs a couple of new tyres. And what else does it need? I think some sort of, I think it was dripping something underneath, you know, nothing major, as long as it's not fuel, because that costs the most. I can cope with a coolant leak. But yeah, so fingers crossed, if bus rallies are allowed to go ahead this year, we'll see you about at some of the rallies. If you do find my bus particularly interesting, you want to follow it, I'll put a link in the description to the preservation page. I mean, I tend to... I'm pretty useless at posting updates on it, but any updates that happen, any rallies we're attending, then of course I will update them on there so that you can follow that. And it'll be nice to see you. I mean, I'm just in the process. I mean, next week I will have done my theory test for driving real proper buses, which I don't know if that's exciting or terrifying. You know, the thought of me actually driving real buses. So, whoa, a bit of thrash there. That was nice, wasn't it? That was very nice. It's, yeah, so I decided that I want to learn to drive my very own bus. So, yeah, we'll be doing that. Again, terrified. Terrified's not the word. But yeah, so fingers crossed. I might see you at some events. Ooh, that's either a canal or a railway bridge, I imagine. It's certainly very rural, isn't it? You know, it's... I'm not enjoying it. I think it's a nice route. It's just a very rural map. We could do with like a little village. You know, a little village to come across. Hopefully that's obscured by these trees. But yeah, nice little village. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? You've not got to get too complacent either, because the amount of bus stops that we've passed with nobody there, you know, and you just, I keep having to remind myself, just slow down a little bit, just in case someone comes out from behind the tree. That poor orange van's still stuck behind us. It's probably just sat there like, for God's sake, this is a 50, I could do this journey so much quicker. Oh, so this is the town or the village of Stowe. Cemetery on the right hand side there, that's church. Looks like a red brick church. Oop. No, it's not one of those buses where you can look behind you out the window. Never mind. Stowe Village. Hello, love. Ah, you're another one, yeah. Don't look old enough to qualify for a zero fare, love. Yeah, go sit down. It's fraud if ever I've seen it. So thank you to that van behind that's probably on the verge of a hemorrhage. I guess because we're in April now, we're getting the nice OMSI summer textures. I mean, I always load it the date and time that, you know, that I'm actually recording the video. So we you know, is April the time? Because I mean, winter is technically December, January and February, isn't it? But when I've loaded everything in March, we've still had snowy trees. And I mean, it was snowing yesterday, can you believe it? Not yesterday, the day before it was snowing. Like, actually snowing in real life. It was like, for goodness sake. And we're all sunny and everything, and I just hung the washing out. Because yes, I am a domesticated goddess. I just hung all the washing out because it was gloriously sunny. Half an hour later, I'm having to do that manic run outside. You know, that insane people do. Screaming downstairs, bring the washing in! It's snowing! Why are you buying a day ticket, love? You're an OAP, you can have a concession. Oh, hang on, we're opening cab door. This mouse mat's atrocious. I really need to get a new one. See, the mouse mat that I've got now at the moment is a railway one. It's stolen from railway offices. It's one of the old first TransPennine Express mouse mats. It was actually given to me by a colleague, but it's certainly more of a cosmetic piece than a functional piece. You know, in terms of actually, like when you're gaming in particular, and you need your mouse to be able to move around and actually do things fairly quickly. It's not a particularly functional item. I think it needs to be withdrawn from service and replaced with something that actually works. Sturton by Stowe Martin Road. Bloody hell, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Go round this pothole. I don't think we can avoid this one. Hold on, everybody. That wasn't actually as bad as what I thought it would be. Someone getting on at this bus stop? It looks like it. Oh, you want a zero fare and all, do you? Of course. Job Seeker Plus, is it? Well, it can't be OAP, can it? We've sussed that one out, because OAPs are buying tickets, and the non-OAPs are asking for free concessions, which that just doesn't work, does it? So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's, I mean, I know that, like, for job seekers, sometimes bus companies do concessions, don't they? Local councils, so you can go to, you know, you can go to interviews and things like that. So that must be what it is, because it can't be OAP. Bloody hell, Mr. Moose. Oh yeah, take your time. I can't get over this. Take your time. You've got to do the speed limit or you'll end up being early. Nobody's getting on there. Bloody a minute late now and I'm flooring it everywhere. I'll have to actually do national. Oh, hang on, now we're a minute early. How's that work? Oh, hang on, Saxon is the next village. It's not for 3 minutes. A bit more rural driving, is it? Yeah, thrashing the nuts off this. Obviously, I want to drive quite fast so that we, you know, we stay to time. But you have to drive safely as well. Don't forget, you are in charge of a big bus. If I tell them that at my test, they're like, "Look, I know you've got to drive to time, you know, drive to the speed limit of the road, but you've got to remember your passenger safety. Just pass. Yeah, no need to show us what you can do, Mr. Dobson. Pass. You know, you're clearly a man of safety." See, I'm doing 50 down here and I'm still not keeping to time. I'm catching those cars up in front as well. You know, so when we've caught the cars up, there's only, you know, you can only do the speed of the road vehicle in front, can't you? Otherwise you have what's known in the industry as a collision. So I'm going to be late as a result of that. Your timetables, you need to thrash it round. me having words. Bloody hell, what we're taking corner at this speed for? I could get round quicker in my bus. You find that on the road to our house. We live just down the A34, which, if you're not from the area, it won't mean anything to you, will it? But it's a nice fast road. It's kind of like this, 50 miles an hour most of the way, and with a 60 zone in the middle. And it's a little bit windy, and it is safe for the majority of it. There's two bends where you have to slow down from 50 to about 35. And I commute up there to work. You know, every time I go to work, I drive up this road. And it's safe to do 50. In fact, I sometimes do 55 if I'm running a bit late. You know, and it's perfectly safe to sit at 50. I put cruise control on. If it's a sunny day, sunroof open, windows down. Oops, Spilsby. That's where we're arriving into now. You know, and you can always guarantee, no matter what time of day, you can be leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's somebody in a Nissan Pixo or a Kia Picanto that's doing 35. And you're like, what are you doing? It's safe to do 50. And they're just sat there doing 35 miles an hour. Just plodding along, but because it's quite windy, you can't overtake them. You also find, I mean, because I live in Cheshire, there's an awful lot of people that buy cars that are too big for them. And I keep coming back to this. I drive a Mini, you know, and I can park my Mini, and I can manoeuvre my Mini through spaces, and, you know, I feel comfortable with my Mini. Whereas a lot in Cheshire buy 4x4s, you know, the amount of Range Rovers that I have seen since I moved to this county is just unreal. And it's mainly bought by young women, you know, and it's not a stereotype, because you can always guarantee they're mainly bought by young women, and they can't drive them because they're too big. And that's not a sexist thing, you know, before someone says, oh, you know, that's sexist against women. It's not, because there's plenty of fellas that can't drive a car that big, and I don't think I'd be able to drive a car that big, he says, doing his bus licence. But, you know, I just think, why do you need a car that big? You don't need a car that big. And in this world of where we should all be eco-friendly and, you know, not polluting, why do you need a big Range Rover if you're just doing school run? You know, and you know, they sit doing 35 miles an hour, and I'm like, just do the speed limit. I don't think I'd want a 4x4 anyway. I've got my eye on a nice BMW 4 Series. And the problem is that I don't make enough in ad revenue to buy a BMW 4 Series. I've got my eye on it, but I'll certainly never own it. Oh, Saxby Supermarket. Supermarket? I wouldn't exactly call a Spar a supermarket. Have we got another one? No. That is their definition in Lincolnshire of a supermarket. Now, I know you've got to be very careful what you say these days, haven't you? And it's by no means a sexist thing. Because there's plenty of women out there that can drive big cars. You know, but you know, and there's plenty of men that can't drive big cars. It's just an observation from what I see on a day-to-day basis. And I just think, why not get a nice little nippy, sporty hatchback? And it just seems to be a thing now, doesn't it? Everyone just has to have the biggest car, and huge, great big tanks driving down the road. And you're like, for goodness sake. I just like my little sporty Mini. You can just whiz around, it sticks to the road, so you can fling it round corners. It's, you know, it's lovely. I'd recommend it, by the way, if you are looking for a car, have a look at a Mini. Good fun. So this is Saxby High Street here, which means we must be coming to the end of the Route 100. I wonder if there's some sort of a turnaround for us to go back, because I know that it actually goes to Lincoln, doesn't it? Terminus, Saxby High Street. Ah, yeah, there is a turnaround. There we go. Everybody off. Thank you. Cheerio. There There we go. And do we go around the other side now? We'll go around to the layover bay before we finish. There we go. Oh, and there's a canal as well. How gorgeous! That's a nice picturesque. Oh, bloody hell! It flung round. Should we stop on the straight bit rather than on the curve? There we go. And there we go. We don't really need the engine off, do we? Because we're due out shortly. But that is the Route 100, Saxelby to Gainsborough, or Gainsborough to Saxelby even. Let me know in the comments, what did you think? Are you going to be going and downloading it? Like I say, Gainsborough Phase 2, you can find the link in the description. Let me know what you thought. Like the video if you did like the video, because of course it helps it get more views. It makes for a very happy Joe. And if you're enjoying OMSI content, do subscribe so you never miss out. You'll be notified. Click the notification button to be notified of all my spectacular new content. Until next time, cheerio. Goodbye for now.